Our country needs a truly great leader, and we need a truly great leader now.
This video message is coming from one of the many blogs written on Reddit by SerialBrain2. SerialBrain2 is the handle of one of my favorite bloggers. This anonymous blogger on Reddit has captured my attention over the last few months with incredible messages, and I hope to share this particular message with you in a way that captures your attention as much as it has mine. Let us begin. SerialBrain2 decodes Q. Now comes the pain 23. So, where were we? Yes, Q brought Q 1675. I said B2. Trump said organ. I said Hammond. He pardoned the Hammonds. Then Trump went to Helsinki. Putin gave him the ball. Trump gave it to Melania and said, "This is for my son Barron." Then, in his interview, he picked CNBC. Why? Because the name of the show is Squawk Box. Then I called Hussein the contortionist in this post. And you can go and read that post. Trump's brilliant chess combination in Helsinki. So, Trump called Obama a patsy the next day, and refers to the exact same video footage I referred to about Hussein's flexibility. And I am unable to air this video due to copyright rules, but this quote was in the description box on the channel, so I'll read the quote. And here's the link, so you can go and watch this video. Obama was a total patsy for Russia, Trump says. President Trump speaks with Joe Kernan on the CNBC show Squawk Box on Thursday, CNBC. Former President Barack Obama was a total patsy for Russia, President Trump said in an interview Thursday. But he, on the other hand, would be far tougher on Russia than any president in many, many years, maybe ever. Coincidence? No. Trump is establishing proofs he is talking to us. And I see you guys have picked up. I see the overwhelming majority of our movement now understands that Trump is talking to us, and everybody is now learning the comms. There is a minority of people still doubting, but that's okay. I hope they will join us soon. Before we get into the solution of the riddle from my last post, are you enjoying as much as I do the panic of the opposing camp? Complete meltdown of MSM, nervous voices of lost politicians in televised interviews, and icing on the cake, James Clapper jumps ship and finally reveals the contortionist is responsible for the entire Russia witch hunt. Stay tuned while I interrupt briefly for a Project Weeping Angel product offer. You know why Clapper is now coming clean, right? He understood Trump's message very well. He is trained to understand the things we have been talking about in my last post. Clapper knows the light incident at the White House was done on purpose and what it really meant, besides the TOL interpretation I gave in the previous post. And the TOL, you can go online, and these are different places where you can go look up the acronyms, and TOL is thinking out loud. That's what it is. You can go to all these different links that you see, and you will see that. And then you can go and to the acronym finder, and it can give you all the different reasons why TOL means exactly what I put in my last post, which is thinking of laughing. Okay, let's move on. Clapper knows Trump's message also meant, "You'd better come clean before the lights are on." I showed you in the previous post that Trump had connected the server to the Q1675 riddle through NT, the Microsoft Windows OS. And here you can see this. You can see the information on the Windows NT. And we talked about that in the last post as well. And we found the connection to Keyboard through Apache, the most widely used web server software. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and start with clockwise. And we're going to start with QDrop 666. And you can see I'm going to start in the middle of it. News unlocks map, think mirror, which team, they don't know, Apache. These people are evil. And you can see that it links to the Apache HTTP server. And then that brings us down to QDrop 1681. I'll go near the bottom. Why is this relevant? Think mirror. Look there, or here, or there. Truth is behind you. And that takes us over to QDrop 1677, which is, who would have thought the Twitter phone could be so useful? Do reflections violate national security rules? Where must one be located in order to obtain a reflection? So we're seeing that this reflection is key. And I'm starting backwards, but it's showing here you can start on one side, but we can, still takes us to the same solution. So this is President Trump in his latest, one of his speeches where he was explaining why he used the word wouldn't. And so let me read it. In a key sentence in my remarks, I said the word would instead of wouldn't. The sentence should have been, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't, or why it wouldn't be Russia. Sort of a double negative. So you could put that in, and I think that probably clarifies things pretty good by itself, which takes us to, again, the NT off of wouldn't, because he really was stressing that word. And I myself personally have noticed when President Trump is saying goofy words, or he's saying something over and over, that's a word that we really want to pay attention to. And I agree with SerialBrain2 on this NT having to do with the Windows NT server. And so that brings us to that whole puzzle. That explains the puzzle. So as many have noticed, I did not specify in my post which server. The reason is it's all the servers. These riddles require a minimum of abstraction from us to understand the message sent to us. When I say the server, it's a generic term for all the servers that the method Trump is using to fight the deep state allows him to get. When I say Trump gave us the server, I mean his method brought the server to the center stage, connected it to the current riddle, and allows it to be used as a weapon. When you understand the comms at this level of abstraction, you can then come down and particularize. You may then read this excellent post from Ronald Swansong and learn there are 4 servers. Let's look at these. So, servers we know about and their potential implications. DNC server, files transferred by Seth Rich to Julian Assange, the server and the Russians hacked, proof the DNC worked to ensure Sanders would never get the nomination, caused Debbie Wasserman Schultz to step down, caused DNC to lose a class action lawsuit to Bernie donators investigated by CrowdStrike. Then the second server is the House Democratic Caucus server. The server, managed by Imran Awan, contained emails of DNC congressmen used to communicate and send classified information and United States state secrets to Pakistan, and status stolen by Awan and missing. And then the third one is Clinton private email server, owned by Clinton, located inside her house, used to divert traffic from her state email address to avoid the FOIA. Contained emails with classified information. BlackBerry devices that had been used to access the server were destroyed with hammers. 33,000 emails deleted using BleachBit, never to be seen by authorities. Many foreign powers may have hijacked. And then we finally had the Gmail server in North Korea. Drops which indicate that there is a private Gmail server in North Korea. This corresponds with the fact that North Korea was owned by the CIA and the cabal until 1945. This server was set up by Eric Schmidt himself. Letter sent to Trump from North Korea looks and positioned like Gmail logo without the red M, indicating a transfer of those emails to the Trump administration Q team. Then you read Q's board and realize Trump has them all. In Q 1666, we have the server. In Q 1279, we have it all. This way of thinking will be key in the future to understand Trump. Read again. Make sure this mental gymnastics is mastered. I wrote all this from my kitchen, so imagine what Clapper really heard. This is why he is coming clean, and many will follow. The coming days are going to be epic. Trump has set the stage and has brilliantly sent all the messages to the deep state, allowing them to make a choice quick before he starts dropping the server bombs. In Q 956, panic mode. Enjoy the show. Now, the Pledge to America's Workers. In summary, it is about asking companies to trade groups to sign a pledge to America's workers. In this particular event, coordinated by Ivanka, Potus signed a new executive order establishing the National Council for American Worker, and 23 organizations were the first to sign the pledge to America's workers. I made it a little easier for you by pointing directly to the part of the video that you had to focus on. And I will have these video links for you to watch, but I am really getting dinged by YouTube for playing these, so I am only playing videos that I get written permission for now, and I don't have written permission for these at this point. So I have the links up here, and they will also be in the description box. But I will read the remarks that I pulled from this video. And the video section that I pulled from is 48 minutes, 37 seconds to 49 minutes and 38 seconds. And I will read. President Trump says, "In that spirit, I'm proud to announce an exciting new challenge at the beginning of a new national movement. We're asking businesses and organizations across the country to sign our new pledge to America's workers. Today, 23 companies and associations are pledging to expand apprenticeships." That's an interesting word for me to be saying. The apprentice? I never actually put that together until just now. That was a good experience, I will tell you that. Isn't that strange, Ivanka? I never associated that, but here we are. Can't get away from that word. It's a great word for on-the-job training and vocational education. They will sign the pledge committing to train and retrain more than 3.8 million American students and workers for new jobs and rewarding careers. But a special kudos to those who took the time to watch the video. And I really do encourage you to watch this. It was an inspiring video for me. And there are other gems hidden in this video as well. For example, listen to this script reading, and this is Marilyn Hewson. Mr. President, on behalf of Lockheed Martin, I am proud to say that today that we pledge to provide new career opportunities for more than 8,000 employees over the next 5 years. And President Trump says, "Thank you, Marilyn. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you, Marilyn. Hey, Fred, she makes a plane that you can't see. Stealth. F-35. I hope you can't see it at least, right? Good job. Thank you very much." Did you catch it? Trump says, "Hey, Fred, she makes a plane you can't see. It's stealth. F-35. Yep, you got it. Trump is talking to us, and he is giving us a nod and a wink to our now famous Q-1675 B-2 stealth bomber. And this is a really nice video for you to watch too. If you have some time, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch it fly. So now, why 23 organizations? For the chess aficionado out there, did you ask yourself why my post about the Helsinki meeting was using chess references and had a 4-play opening? What is 4? Remember, elliptic language. 4 can be seen as the natural response to the sequence 2 to 3, right? There is a chess game that was played in Helsinki that became famous because of its 23rd move. Yes, not kidding. And guess what? It was between an American and a Russian master. Coincidence? By the 22nd move, American master Frank Marshall was losing to Russian master Stephen Levitsky. Then Marshall, at his 23rd move, stunningly sacrificed his queen and won the game. This game entered the list of the most famous chess games under the name of The American Beauty. And I was granted permission to air this video, so enjoy.
Hi, this is Mato. In this video, I will show you absolutely amazing chess game. This is the game between Stefan Levitsky and Frank Marshall that was played in Breslau in 1912. That is the year when Titanic sank. This game is also known as American Beauty, and you will see why. Opening is French defense, although game started with d4. Black played e6, and now if white plays c4, then we could have this Dutch defense. That's why after d4 and e6, white played e4, and after d5 we have French defense. White played knight to c3, c5, attacking white's center, knight to f3, knight to c6, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, and the best move in this position is to capture pawn on c5, and then we would have this variation. This wasn't played in the game, but I'll show you the best variation for white. Knight to f6, bishop to e3, bishop to e7, and bishop to b5, castling, and white is standing somewhat better. Instead, in this position, white played bishop to e2, black continued with knight to f6, castling kingside, bishop to e7, bishop to g5, castling kingside, pawn takes pawn, bishop to e6, knight to d4, bishop takes on c5, attacking knight, and the best move in this position is knight to b3, attacking bishop, and white would still be attacking isolated pawn on d5. Instead, in this position, white captured bishop on a6, f takes on a6, so black hasn't got isolated pawn anymore. He's got weakness on a6, but he's compensated because rook is now on semi-open file. Okay, now game continued with bishop to g4, attacking pawn on e6. Bishop can't be taken because it's pinned. Queen to d6, unpinning. Bishop to h3, rook from a to e8. Queen to d2, bishop to b4, pinning knight on c3. and also threat is knight to e4 attacking queen. That's why white captured knight, black captured with rook, rook from a to d1, queen to c5. There is more pressure on knight on c3, stepping out of the pin, sacrificing pawn temporarily. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. But with this little tactic, white has his pawn back because rook is taboo, can't be taken. If e takes on d5, then white would be winning easily. But there is no need to take this rook. In this position, black has a much stronger move. That is knight to d4, attacking queen, and now this knight on d4 is extremely well placed. Now white played queen to h5, attacking rook on e8, but rook is happy to go to f8 anyway. And now, so rook is under attack on d5. If rook to d7, for example, this wasn't played in the game, but I'll show you what black wants to do. Then rook takes on f2, rook takes, queen to e1 check, and checkmate. That's why white played rook to e5 to prevent queen from coming to e1. Now rook to h6 attacking queen, queen to g5. It is black to move in this position. What would you play if you had black pieces? This is not too difficult, is it? The best move is rook takes on h3, and this is what was played in the game. Rook can't be taken. If g takes on h3, then we would have this family fork. This is check, and also black is winning queen. Okay, so instead white played rook to c5 attacking queen, and in this position black played this absolutely amazing killer move. If you wish, you can pause this video and you can try to find killer move yourself. Are you ready? Have you seen this? Queen to g3, and you know what white did? White resigned in this position. Although he can capture queen, black queen in 3 different ways. Let's check. Queen takes on g3, knight to e2 check, king to h1, knight takes queen check, f takes on g3, and checkmate. Or king to g1, knight to e2 check, and black has an extra piece. What else in this position can white do? He can capture with f pawn, f takes on g3, knight to e2, king to h1, and checkmate. And another way is to capture with h pawn, h takes on g3, and knight to e2, checkmate. That's why in this position white resigned in shock and awe. What do you think? Is this a beautiful game or not? And that is all. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye.
Now, who do you think is the sacrificed queen? Of course, it's costless and even fun to give away the witch. Look, it seems she knows some chess and still wants to share her thoughts from the thick smoke of her disintegration. And here is her little tweet. So she writes, "Great World Cup. Question for President Trump as he meets Putin. Do you know which team you play for?" And of course she answers it and goes, "Well, now we know." All this is confirmed by Q. You remember the post where he released his password? In Q 1415, we can see his password. In Q 1418, he asked, mistake or purpose? Q. Of course, we know it was done on purpose. Let's read the password. Now comes the pain. -23. Now comes the pain -23? So 23 is the signal announcing the pain. Frank Marshall won his Helsinki game with his 23rd queen sacrifice move. Trump is inviting 23 organizations after having sacrificed the witch in Helsinki and defeated Putin with his 4-move opening. Do you see it? So you thought there was no plan? I told you, the plan is beyond brilliant and it's lethal. In Q 959, learn chess. Down she goes. Nobody escapes this. Nobody. Q. Now, why the word apprentice? Why does Trump repeat the word several times? I gave you this hint in Q 1675. Is all about reflections. Now, in this link, you can see about paper sizes. And we learn in this link that the CIE measure of whiteness is a measurement of the light reflected by the paper across the visible daylight spectrum. This reflection is confirmation we are still in Q 1675 territory. Knowing this and the context, let's rewrite apprentice, unscramble the letters, and analyze. And this is what we get. So, if you see paper whiteness, the CIE measure of whiteness is a measurement of the light reflected by the paper across the visible daylight spectrum. The CIE have set a standard of D65 illumination. So if we take the word paper and you have paper, you take CIE, and then you take NT, because the NT again is pulled from the Microsoft server, NT server. And so you take that, you have paper, CIE, NT. And you can take, and that has been taken from apprentice. Is when you scramble the words. And scrambling and unscrambling of words is an age-old way of communicating. This is nothing new. This is an age-old way of communicating. And then you can also see in this Q drop, who would have thought the Twitter phone could be so useful? Do reflections violate national security rules? So they're using this paper, CIE NT, and using the word apprentice over and over to show us that that word is very important to decipher. And as you can see, the word apprentice is giving us another path to the server and connects perfectly with the Q 1675 riddle through the light reflection measured using the CIE measure of whiteness. Now, we may conclude this whole event, beyond the obvious, is Trump winning the deep state about the pain coming through the forced servers he is about to use against them, and all the related topics we have gone through analyzing Q 1675. Now close your eyes for a minute. Try to purge your mind. Forget everything that has been said here and re-watch the video of the event. You will realize you have just received a training that will allow you to see everything with new eyes. These are the eyes that allowed Clapper to see what he saw and immediately throw Hussein under the bus without you being able to detect any plausible cause in the news. These are the eyes of the deep state does not want you to have, so they can still communicate without you knowing. In Q 1646, dark to light, God bless America, God bless patriots around the world. Think for yourself. Trust yourself.
We need somebody that literally will take this country and make it great again. Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.